I'm sure she will.
Wait a minute.
Get us started. We got a really good show. I'm glad everybody's on. We're going to our regular crew, our regular gang of people. Um, there we go. So, being black in America, that's one of our topics.
The Black experience. I'm
Yeah,
gonna correct you on that. The Black experience.
That's what you're calling it. You can call it whatever you want.
All right? Okay. I mean, I'm is.
All right, that's fine. I'm calling it, being black in America, the black experience, whatever. We got understanding, being the head of a household, which I'm really baiting you to go into a deeper topic. And then the last one, that's really for more like a fae. And that was like, is nasty and or freaky the same thing?
I want you to turn your phone up because I can't hear you on Instagram.
Well, that's because I don't have my headphones in, but I'm definitely.
You too?
I'm putting my headphones in. I'm putting my headphones. I come prepared with the proper tools to do a show, Mona.
Hi guys. Hi Instagram. Hi Facebook. Hi YouTube.
You got me now? Can you hear me now, Mona?
Yes.
All right, so we're going to do that one more time. So our topics tonight are for the Black experience, understanding how to be the head of a household, and is nasty and or freaky the same thing. I really want Faye to be a part of this. That's what I want to be.
She's gonna join us, y'all.
I know she is.
Y'all.
I know. So let me go into something real quick before we get into the show of everything, right? So I went to a holistic center recently that I'll post be doing I will be doing a paint and sip with them. And they kind of gave me like a small reading, right? Like, but one of the ladies there wanted to feel my energy.
Weird. I was about to ask you about that. Yeah.
She's kind of felt my energy. They made me, they was like, well, they didn't make me. They asked me, come down here, check us out. I was like, cool. She wants to feel your energy, make sure you're cool. Anyway, I get in there, I see the other rooms. They're like, you got like a female presence that's around you. And that female presence is protective of you. And I was like, I actually thought it was my grandfather. You know what I'm saying? But it was different because of how they said it. And I was like, okay, cool. And I just kind of explained my presence or being understanding or being aware of certain things and why they happen. And it was a dope experience. I'm actually going to go back for one of the services that they have that basically have to take with it's a 4-hour process. You definitely go under. And I'm super excited about it. Like you're supposed to like follow, you get like a guide and you talk about these things and it kind of opens you up to a whole nother level of being.
Sounds like Reiki. It sounds like they want to do Reiki on you. Yeah. Honestly, I was going to ask you, you and I are right here because I was going to ask you on here, have you ever experienced, because it kind of goes into my topic, but I was going to ask you, have you ever experienced tarot reading and all that? Because I accidentally got a tarot card reading like last weekend. Accidentally. Okay. Like,
no, I've never really had a tarot reading card, never really wanted to get into it. Am I aware of spirits and presence? And I have like weird energies. I'm an empath. I will always brag about that. And just kind of understanding people's auras and energies. I'm really big on that. I feel like that's my gift of understanding. People randomly open up to me, total strangers, and I'm totally open to receive that. So I never had it, but I'm open to the notion.
I'm definitely, one of these wonderful shows we're gonna talk about. I want to get another mental health worker who actually is into Reiki and all the healing as well, because we have had some all out very passionate conversations in the office about that, because about empaths and everything. But let me tell you, because leading into the topic of the Black experience, being black in America, my whole thing is I had, like I said, I've had it was a random thing. She was reading my energy, as well as, she was actually reading for somebody else, and I just happened to be there in the mix, and she was like, oh,
Right.
and by the way, and I was like, well, don't come for me, sis, don't do that. And so she was real about it. And now for me, I was raised to not do any of that. I was raised in a very strict Black Christian household, and we don't do none of that. At Seventh-day Adventists, we don't do none of that. Okay, we don't dabble with
Right.
the spirits, right? So it was very odd because I left feeling so conflicted. She was right about a lot of stuff, but I left feeling so conflicted, and I also felt nauseous because of the spiritual intensity that was in there. So I had been asking a lot of different Black people, as well as, some of my other friends, my white friends as well. But I've been asking a lot of Black people, have they experienced that, and what did they think, or what was their takeaway? So it was very interesting you brought that up. There's a lot of things I don't connect to. The reason why I wanted to talk about being Black is because there's a lot of things I don't connect to that a lot of Black people do connect to in the culture. Like, okay, name me some of the things that you did when you was growing up, like, or some of the things you said, some of the things you did, some of the things like the Kool-Aid and the stuff that you used to do when you were little.
Okay, be more descriptive of this Black culture thing that you talk about, because I'm from Kentucky. So,
Okay.
like,
what was your
so
culture
like it's
growing
like
up?
okay, so my everyday culture is being around my grandmother, being around my family, riding around the neighborhood, seeing everybody. Like, you know what I'm saying? You didn't know a stranger. People walk around, boop, boop, hey, how you doing? Like, they do that now. Like, you go to Paducah, Kentucky, where I'm from, you stand on your grandmama's porch, somebody's gonna drive by and be like, hey, boy, how you doing? And you be like, I don't even know you. Hey, remember that time when you did this? I'm like, it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? So, like, the culture, as far as that, or listening to rap music, like I used to listen to Triple Six Mafia. And the thing about Paducah, we listened to Triple Six Mafia. We would listen to Screwed and Chop music. And then I was also listening to, Mobb Deep and Big L. Like, we had this big melting pot. So my take on Black America, where I was from, it was really diverse, but don't get it twisted. It's still Kentucky. So you're still aware of that old lady that you hear her car click. Like, I don't want anything that you got going on. Not saying that was a continuous thing, because I really didn't really deal with racism at that level, because we went to school with everybody. So my experience is different, but the solidness of understanding you're Black, you're this, you're a young man, and keep your eyes on the swivel, or your head on the swivel, was very forefront in our environment from the Black men and Black women that we were around. So that as far as that part, that was right there all the time. We knew about it.
So you never, okay. So I would say for me, and again, it gets a little deeper for me because I've been looking at a couple of Black things lately, and I've been, kind of being like, oh, I never really experienced that, or kind of reconciling with myself how I do feel about Black people in general. Like, I was never raised to, we never did the whole, I'm going to say this, and the reason why I want to say this out loud is, people judge me how they want to, whatever. But, I was raised in the suburbs. Matter of fact, before we moved out to the suburbs, we were in this neighborhood, really low, poor neighborhood. And my parents worked really, really hard. And we were the only house on the block at one point that had all around brick. You know how you have the houses that have brick in the front and just have the siding in it? We were the house that had all brick.
You had the expensive house.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
and
they got money over there. We're going over there to eat at their crib.
That's what I got ever since I was little. Matter of fact, I was the kid that they were, putting in ballet, sending me to plays, sending me to white school, sending me, to do the culture thing, because I was not going to be the hood ghetto Blackness. Like,
they didn't want you to be a hood rat,
No, and matter of fact, even down to the word oh God, this gets on my nerves. Finna or fixin' to. Never. Like I
Whoa. Hold on. Time out. I'm fencing to learn you something. All right. I'm fencing to
ugh,
learn you
it's like,
something. All right.
why is that screeching on my ears? Oh,
You got sometimes you gotta let that blackness run through. Like, you know what I'm saying? That country. Like where I'm from, it'd be like, hey man, we got that Frigidaire over there, that book satchel. You know what I'm saying? Hey man, hunker down. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, the country, that black country, like going back home and seeing like a Chevy on 22s, you be like, I'm home.
that was just never. That was nope, nope. That was it's very interesting to me. Now it kind of leads up into where, like, okay, for instance, now, like I said, there's so many points of which I want to touch on, but now it's like I was threatened to be lynched when I was younger. I was in high school, middle school, high school. And for me, I actually, the two gentlemen, one of them was my friend's brother. And I had really, like, we were all, three amigos, me and two other white girls. We were three peas in a pod. And so her brother is the one and his friend that did that to me. Now, me, I was just like, well, my parents just taught me to go, tell the principal, and that's that. So I told the principal, and that was that. But what I'm seeing now, and maybe correct me if I'm wrong, but what I see now a lot of is that we get so outraged at everything. Like everything is an outrage. Matter of fact, somebody just was telling me the other day, well, somebody called me a nigga and da 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 da. And I'm like, okay, you gonna get mad over that? You gonna stay mad over that? I just see a lot of times where we get so outraged at the smallest things, but at the same time, I understand why. Now, let me tell you, let me go back to 2020. 2020
Gotcha.
was the first time ever in my life where I felt like there was a need for me to go out and protest. I've never felt like that before. I've always looked at people like, well, why? But why are you going out but why are you doing all that? That's not going to change nothing. Because I was always taught, right, that you have to make changes from the inside. You have to work and do the change from the inside. You don't got to be out there in the streets doing all that. What does that do for you? What is that, blah, blah, blah. So for me, that was never my thing. I did feel it though, because I was like, well, dang, my nephew's coming of age. And I see, Pamela has a be more Pacific. Yes, black people with the Pacific. Ugh. Uh, but no, I felt like this urgency to actually be a part of that. But I was also talked down from my family to be like, you know what? No, you have your degree. You're supposed to be making changes from the inside and blah, blah, blah. Don't go out there and show your ass. Pretty much, they don't curse, but
Right.
don't go out there and show your ass or whatever. There's no need for that because you feel like you're supposed to be black and mad.
Man, that's a make me want to walk around. Oh,
But then I also get the fact that even moving forward, even to now, it's like I've had those experiences where, ooh,
you know what?
being
I'll tell
black
you this.
and mad.
I'll jump in. So let's fast forward. Let's fast forward to Andre at 35, 35, 34. So I worked at a all pretty much predominantly white construction company. And in this presence, I'm the only black gentleman there with a college degree. Um, they have me doing the lowest of the low job, right? But I'm good at it. And none of my white counterparts get to partake in this job. They get to learn the job. Um, and every day it was like, okay, cool. Um, I come in late, it's a big deal. But somebody comes in late, hangover or whatever, they're like, oh, no problem. Good old boy system. So I had to
Yes.
constantly navigate these hoops, these gauntlets of emotions every day. And at one point, I was so mad, so infuriated, because when I started digging into the history, when I started digging into the culture, you know, what's going on, Miss Thomas? Um,
Hey.
Thank you for joining us. I just came, the more you know. That's all I can say. The more you know, because the more I knew, the more I was gathering, I was like, this ain't right. This ain't right. I should be empowered. This ain't this. They know I'm smarter than this. Why are they doing this? And I have to constantly shift my emotions to not be an angry black man.
Yeah, okay. We've got power brokers, the buddy system, and the system against us. True, true. My whole thing is, if we've got all that, then is it, are we, ooh, see, this is a little touchy.
Come on, bring it. No, it ain't touchy. Bring it. That's what we're here for, to touch stuff.
Are we in a sense holding ourselves back? Because like you said, number one, you got to do all this and not be the mad black man, and I got to do the same. I can't be the mad black woman. Matter of fact, I can't be the bad black woman even in women run businesses, right? So there's this, the thing, code switching. And if y'all have ever had to code switch, y'all put them hearts in there, because you know what I'm talking about. So having to do that, it kind of messes with me. And I feel like that has been something that I felt like I haven't had to navigate as much. Now I'll tell you, because not saying that I have white privilege, but when I was younger, I was always taught, see, my parents are West Indian, and I was always taught, you have to, don't be like the Black
XYZ.
Americans don't be like the Black Americans who are they don't do anything, or they don't do anything for themselves, or whatever the case, whatever the case may be. It might be, this is why foreigners come over and take over a lot of the jobs, because Black Americans think this. And so you have to be better than either that or white people. You have to do better than them or white people. So you have to make, and so for me, it was not doing some of the things that Black people did. Matter of fact, even now, who I don't really know how to play spades a lot, but whatever, I'll learn.
See, the thing
I'm pretty
is,
good at it
that
when
right
I
there.
can be.
And I just want to say welcome, Faye, for joining us. Thank you.
Get on the Facebook link, Faye.
No one sent it to me.
I sent it to you. I sent it to you.
Well, how you send it to me?
It's in your inbox. But to jump back on what Mona says while she's getting that taken care of, I'm telling you, I had a moment where I was listening to D.L. Hughley, and he was just going over what has been going on in America, and I've been fighting the feeling. I actually cried. I got emotional. I'm an emotional person anyway, but it wasn't like a sad cry. It was more like a frustrating, like what is it called? SWB, sleeping while black. Sleeping while black, and things can still happen to you. People can come into your homes. Nothing's changed. And that's what people really need to say. Oh, well, we got degrees or whatever. No, we got a pacifier. Now, this is me. This is my Malcolm X. This is that other side that you don't get to see, that I'm going to spew for a moment. It's a pacifier, and even though people don't want to talk about it, the thing about it, when they was like, oh, we got a black vice president, I don't give a fuck. All right, first of all, and why is everybody wearing Chucks? You did it. I know you did it, Mona.
I didn't.
No big
I didn't.
Deal. You didn't? I thought I saw some Chucks. And I wasn't. I'm like, I'm not here for this dance. I know exactly what's going on. If you don't know what's going on and you're supporting this tomfoolery right here, I don't want to be a part of it. But I don't get to point that out. I don't get to push this narrative of Andre. You know what I'm saying? Because that shit really just fucking pisses me off from the programming that really goes on behind, and the coonery that we have out here tap dancing. What's that dude's? Herschel Walker.
Him too. But my whole thing is, okay, but you're getting into something that I'm glad that you touched on that, because you know,
Sorry.
you like to segue into what I be thinking, because that's another thing too. Like today, so this morning, or was it yesterday, I was listening to something where they were talking about this whole Jocelyn's Cabaret, and the people are suing for her, fighting them or whatever. Number A, okay, numero A, I don't like none of them shows. I don't like reality TV. I don't watch them. And I actually wonder how people can sit through them, because why are we sitting through that, watching each other fight or yell or argue or this, that, and the other, and make themselves play into the stereotype of what they actually do? That shit is not entertaining to me. That is not entertaining for me. That is not something
that's
I want
funny.
to see.
That's funny you say that, right? So, you kind of have to respect that people have different types of views and what they like. And
Yep, I respect it.
But this is the thing though, because my cousin, she was watching all of that, and I said, hey, cuz, and she may pop on this, she may see it on Facebook. I was like, hey, cuz, why are you watching that? Like, why are you kind of putting that energy into you? You know what I'm saying? Like, none of that's real. I mean, it is real for them, but that's not who you are. And maybe it is who she is. But the thing about it, I'm like, I believe in what you put into your body is exactly what you're going to regurgitate outside of your body. So I try to watch what I take in. Is people of color have to watch what they take in to their brains, what they're watching, what they're saying, because we have so much power. That's a whole nother thing. We have so much power. Women, Black women, you have so much power. You do not have to be an alpha to be powerful. That does not do anything. Just that's the segue. I'm just saying you already have it. You already were born with it.
Okay, so Black women, and I think that's that too. Black women do understand and do need to understand they do have power and they are alpha. I think that is true. However, like you said, and it goes back to, and I was talking to somebody about this the other day too. The fact that, no, it was actually today. Actually, I was talking to one of my friends. I was talking to her about it today, where we were talking about how Black women, and I really think that okay. I really think that sometimes our music plays into this, as well as TV plays into this too. Our culture now and society plays into this. Like, Black women have this, yes, alpha top dog complex, but not realizing that that can be or needs to be balanced out. Good leaders are also good followers, good listeners,
Exactly.
and being able to, allow other people to be a part of that leadership or a part of that relationship. I think that a lot of times, because of and this was a discussion that was had on, I think, Twitter Spaces, the Black family was torn apart. Drugs, war, all of that back in the 60s, 70s, whatever. A lot of Black women had to, from that point on, raise families, do the things, be all the things. Now,
Right.
you coming back to me after you get clean, sober, and done fuck some hoes, and you want to lead this family? No, because for years now, I have literally taught my daughter not to date men like you. So guess what? That daughter now is taking that information, passing it along to generation to generation to generation. Guess what? The women of today now is like, I don't need men. I don't need this. I'm a bad bitch. I don't need the blah. So the cycle continues.
Make sure you get Faye in on Facebook. She's sent a message.
Awesome. And so my whole thing is, I think that the Black families, I really think that there is I don't know if I should say we could do better, but I do think there are certain things. There are certain things I don't connect with how Black people, like, even down to our music. I love our music. I love our culture. I love all of those things. All right, let me ask you something about this. Do you get offended if if other cultures do our dances on TikTok or on YouTube or on the videos. You do, Faye? Can't hear you. Is there and your link is in the private message, but yeah, I
I'm
don't
gonna
get
answer the
offended
question until she gets back. I don't. It's comedy to me. Once again, that goes back to
somebody said yes in our comments. Do y'all get offended when other cultures do the black people dances and sing the black people songs?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's funny. It just because they're not black. That's like you don't.
But you make music. What are you supposed to?
Hold on, wait. You know who does this? There's one person in the world, and I've done it. It's Carlton. It's Carlton. He's the only one. Black people are not doing that on purpose. It's not. It's a joke. It's not on purpose. That's the difference.
But he did not. That's what I'm saying. Like that kind of stuff bothers me because it's like, why are we getting? First of all, let me tell you something. If everything causes an outrage, nothing is outrageous.
Well,
so
we didn't say outrage. You said upset. You said bothered. And that is bothered because they take our culture, but yet we're not even nowhere near where we're supposed to be, which is our problem. I will answer that. It is our problem. It's our problem to fix.
Right.
Which comment?
I like that comment because she says, I don't care that they do the dances and songs. It's the recognition they get that black creators don't get. See that? Thank you for that comment because I don't care. I think a lot of people miss that point. They just know how to rape and pillage. Just give credit. Okay, well, all right. But my whole thing is I get that part, right? It's not like
we don't get credit for anything.
But if I make a song out here, and yes, guys, I was a singer before my past life. If I make a song out here and I just make it for music purposes, it's not like I have something on my song that says, okay, for black people only. And now I'm singing. No. So if they're making music, that's why I say that's honestly one of the arguments where people are saying, hey, stop using the N-word in songs then because you're not making music just for black people. Everybody's going to hear this music. Everybody's going to see these shows. So everybody is going to be influenced in some kind of way. So if you're telling me,
nah, man, I don't even know if I can let you ride out like that because I don't care if it's the N-word. And Faye, I'm gonna let you jump in real quick. But first of all, the N-word, no. I was sitting here with my little brother, and he was like 22 or 21. It's a Hispanic dude and whatever. And he's like, what up, my nigga? Talking to his dog, talking to my brother. They all like this. And I'm like, hold on, wait a minute. What are you young people going through? First of all, do you even know what people gone through for this word to not be used? Do you even know what the word is used for? Like, this is not cool at any point. I had to deal with this at my job. I've had a boss, which I'm still, if anybody's out there and you know a lawyer in the Virginia area, I'm suing this company. Boom, I'm coming for them. The people that were on, he's like, oh, I'm on Hinge. I'm not contracted to say that, but I'm on Hinge. He's like, oh, a sand nigger. I lost all senses in my body, and I didn't hang out with that dude anytime after that. And they felt like they could just say, oh, yeah, the dude, Westy Johnson, somebody said nigger. Like, you're using it in a conversational piece like it's okay. It's never okay at work or in front of a coworker or even somebody of a different color to use these terms ever. We don't say honky. We don't say cracker. We don't. We don't. No, we don't. Not at work. Exactly. And the thing is, white people don't even have derogatory terms. You know what their derogatory term is? Just a little FYI. And if anybody's in here and they want to give it to us, it's what is it? White trash. That would probably infuriate them, or hillbilly. That would probably infuriate them than you calling them a cracker or a hoogie or whatever else that my dad would say something or back in the day when he was young.
I think that and yeah. Andre, yeah, Andre, while she's talking, you may need to send her the link again because she didn't get that.
Got you.
It's not coming through. I didn't get it, and I tried to go through the studio and say add me, but it didn't work. So real quick, while it's hot, y'all talked about several different things, and my brain was going like
Go.
So I'm gonna go backwards. So sis, I disagree with you about the song. We make music because it's an expression. It's a storytelling. It's me telling my story.
Yep.
Okay. So just for instance, I'm gonna use Cardi B because she's hot. I'm gonna use Megan Thee Stallion. They don't make music for children, even though children hear the music. Okay, so yes, the music is for the world to hear our story. It's not for you to be able to be disrespectful and use the word that you know that's not be able to use, and then say, "Oh, well, you used it in a song." A song is another way of storytelling. Yes, I do get offended because you don't give us credit. It's called cultural appropriation.
But everything is being called cultural appropriation. Literally everything is being called cultural appropriation now.
Let me tell you why. Because everything is culturally appropriated.
No.
Listen to hear me out. You're shaking.
I hear you. Go ahead.
What happens is
one at a time. I can't hear both of y'all.
Credit for it, and they rename it and act like it's something new. We've been wearing cornrows for I don't know how long. What do they call it? They don't even call it corn. When the Kardashians started wearing it, it was like, oh, whatever they called it. Girl, that's a cornrow. That is not something new. It's not. They do it even with drugs. People been sipping syrup for I don't know how long down south. Soon as the white kids got it, it became an epidemic. It had been a problem. This is something new. No, it's not anything new. Soon as with the killings, this is nothing new. No, we just have something called cell phones. Now we can record them. So you have to understand, just like in the 50s and the 60s, the invention of the television is what helped in started the civil rights movements, because people were able to start seeing what they were doing to Black people in America. Because now this is internationally known across the world that y'all sticking dogs on people and dragging us in the middle of the street. Nobody wants to do business with you. So now you got to clean it up. So the shout out to whoever invented the television, the National Broadcasting System, because that was a good proponent in the 50s and the 60s during that time to show nationwide that America is not who they say they are. So all I'm saying is to you is that when we come into your cultures and we come into your home, we respect it. We get no respect. We get no credit. And then we're stereotypical. I don't want to say stereotypicalized, that's not a word. You see the stereotypical us on TV, like for instance, they say black on black crime. Well, white people kill white people, Asian people kill Asian people. You don't hear white on white crime. You don't hear Asian on Asian crime. Those are different ways that the media tries to spin on things. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, so no, I did not wear my pearls, and no, I did not wear Chucks, because I understood what it was. She was the light-skinned sister that was the nicer one, that had the nicer tone, and that she was affiliated with an HBCU, and she's going to use her organization to drag the Black people in. Since we've come in, have we heard anything?
No,
and
fuck no. Sorry.
And have we checked her history?
No.
Because our history says she was really, really strong on the other side. Now, I will say this, because I know I'm talking a lot. Be quiet.
No, you're good. I enjoy it.
Are real and they're valid, but they have names. Dre, you were talking about cool posing, about how you had to be at work and act a certain way. For men, that's called cool posing.
It's called code switching.
Like you cool, like everything's all okay, but you burning up and you angry on the inside. It has a word for it.
That's code switching.
Infuriating.
No, I said it's called code switching.
No, code switching is when I change my language. Like, for instance, code switching is what your mama used to do when she used to pay the bills. Your mom be like, girl, sit down there. I can't, whatever. And then she's like, hello, how are you?
But it's also behavioral as well in the workplace. But it's also behavioral in the workplace.
Is the emotional baggage that the men, Black men or men of color, hold inside when they go into a predominantly white area, because they cannot show their anger or their emotions.
That's called code switching.
Labeled as an angry person. That's called cool posing. So they're posing like they're cool. That's just like Black women. We have to go in spaces and act like we're not as smart as we are, because we get told that we're the smart mouth or we have an attitude.
That's called code switching.
I have an attitude. I went to school and I have an education and a certification or whatever it is I have, and I'm knowledgeable about what I'm speaking about. That doesn't make me an angry person because I'm speaking the way I'm speaking. That's the label they try to put on you. Oh, you're being mean. No, you're being that. But let the white CEO man come in there, and he comes in, he barges in the meeting, tells everybody else, and I'm like, oh, Tom is great. He was aggressive. Do you see how he attacked that? He did that well. You go in the meeting and go do it. I bet you're going to get called all type of angry, mad Black woman. You were disrespectful. You were rude. You were this. You were that. Now, when other cultures, non-Black cultures come here, what they try to do is assimilate. And that's why they say, oh, don't be like the black people, be like that. But guess what? When you cross them waters and you step on this land, you black just like me. I don't care where you're from. You can be from Paris. You can be from Africa. You can be from India. When you step across the border, you us. So what most immigrants try to do is come in and assimilate and try to separate themselves from us because of things they've seen and what they've heard. So that's what happens when they tell you, oh, don't act like that. Because how you acting like a black person? Because guess what? I'm a privileged person, and I don't say white privilege anymore. I'm just a privileged.
But you're telling me, I'm gonna pause you right there because you're telling me.
Let's see what Mona said.
You're telling me that, oh, you're black like I am. Yes, absolutely right. You are absolutely right. When they come over here, same. My parents are West Indian. They came over here. They the same as black people here. However, what I'm saying is that what they have seen in some of their cultures, and it is true, that a lot of black Americans don't want to do certain jobs, feel that they're too good for certain jobs. So we do see a lot of Africans, a lot of people of color coming from other countries who are doing jobs that black Americans don't want to do. So that's why I'm saying
this is the problem I have. Stop saying black Americans. Americans don't want to do.
I'm talking now. No. Wait, I'm talking about. No, I know that you're saying that, and I do say in general, but right now on the show we're talking about the black experience. So I get what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying. That's not the black experience. That's an expectation. There are other jobs that we're going to use white because that's what we're talking about.
Because Americans, yeah, you're right.
Cleaning your yards. They're not coming in there cleaning your
No, they're not.
They're not doing the things.
No, they're not.
American standard that we're taught. Americans don't want to do those jobs.
No, they don't. You're absolutely
right. Let me jump on. Ladies. I love the passion. So let me jump in because I don't know if you guys actually do it, but I'm in construction, right? So when you look around, left, you look right. There's no black people there. There's no black people there. They're all Hispanic or they're white. And the white people are either in charge or second in charge. And the Hispanic people are either they own their own business and they're in everything. They're in painting, they're in drywall, they're in carpentry, they're doing it all. And my question is, where are the black people? If I had the power, which I do, I would definitely go to high schools and colleges and be like, hey, this makes good money right here. But we didn't know that. And I'm gonna give you this poor fact right here. When I got into construction, and I was offered that job by a black man who did not offer that to his family because he didn't think that they deserved it, other personal reasons. But he saw something in me to get me there. When I saw the people that were making $30 to $40 an hour, that could barely read, that were not clean, that were on substances like alcoholics, they're making $40 to $50 an hour. They get to have all of this and didn't do well with their money. It blew my mind. I'm like, why is there not enough black people in construction? Maybe they are in different cities, but in Kentucky, there was none. There was 30, 20 white guys, then there was me.
But when you grew up, we weren't taught that. We were taught, go to school, go to college,
right?
Get a job. We weren't taught to get a trade.
Not at all.
No, wait, okay.
Which is our generation to fix that narrative, because most black homes to tell their kids, get a job, go for either you go straight to college, you get a job, and I'm talking about middle class.
That's what I got. And my grandfather was a mason.
Higher, lower. We were told, and I'm be honest with you, I was like, oh, I'm gonna be a phlebotomist, because in college, in high school, they had that program. I was like, oh, I'm gonna do a phlebotomist, and then while I'm in school, I'll use that as my license to work. And I was told by my family, oh no, you're going to college. Then I was like, okay, I'm gonna join the Air Force. Oh no, black girls don't join the military, which was funny because my stepdad was in the military. I was good enough to receive the benefits of it, but black girls don't go in there. You're going to college. You're too smart. You're too this. So that wasn't the conversation in my house.
Did y'all see that comment? Y'all see that comment? Y'all see that comment? Black Americans did free labor for over 500 years. We is tired. Expect more from ourselves. But the thing about it is, we can't be tired. We could never be tired, because until we are equal, we should continuously be working on that. We should be policing our own. I never understood, and I wish Lamont was on here now, because I would ask him the question, and this is kind of veering off. I would, why when we have these topics of black killings or shootings, you have a taser and then you have a gun. Why is the taser not where the initial gun is at? Like, someone answer that question for me, because that's where you draw first. You would think you would have the gun in a more adjustable thinking position, but no, because you're not trained that way. And I understand. I already know people will be like, they're not the conspiracy theorists or people who are actually police officers. They'll be like, we're not trained that way. I don't know, but that's what I've heard. But go ahead.
We're not against police, but what you have to know is people don't want to read and go back to their history. It was not, the police was never originated
to serve and protect
us. You got to go back. The police came out of the slave patrol. Their job was to track us, go find us, bring us back, or kill us. That's what they were trained to do. You have to go back to the origin of some things and see where that stuff comes from.
So let me go ahead. Mm-hmm.
That's what it was created to do. It hasn't changed.
But
it just looks different, just like any other thing. They've changed in hoods for suits now. You know what I'm saying? It's just changed outfits and wrapped it up a different way. But it's not until we come in and we make that change. I'm not saying the police is not needed. I have several police friends. I support the police. I am on you guys' side, because if somebody break in my house, I'm calling you. Matter of fact, I called you on Monday when he hit my car. So I'm not saying none of that about the police. Right. All I'm saying to you is that that's what it was created to do. And we have to be that change. But what it is that we don't have a black folk meeting.
But we have to have a lot of black folk meeting about a lot of different things, because what you're saying.
All come together, we fight. You got me too. You got me too over here. You got Black Lives Matter over here. You got the church over here, and everybody fighting each other. So it's divide and conquer. Instead of them forgetting whatever their differences are and understand the greater good and say we need to come together. But no, you don't want to follow my rules. You don't want me in your club. You don't want me in the church. You don't want me here. You don't want me there. So we're fighting each other. Where's our leaders? When somebody gets killed, who's coming out there? Al Sharpton and all them about to die tomorrow. Like, so where is our leaders coming out? I mean that in a way that
we're not holding ourselves accountable with certain things or questioning certain things. Because I want to go back to what you said, because I do want to touch on what there's a comment that says the problem, we stop supporting each other like they used to do back in the day. I'm going to comment on that. However, and all of these are pitted against Black people. White person created BLM. Me Too is divisive. First of all, let me go back to something that you did mention, having to, and I'm sorry, I passionately, or I do argue that point of code switching, because that is something that was a thing for me, and having to do research on that and having to actually look at that, because you hear the way I talk. When I go into certain places or when I call certain people, they don't think I'm Black. Like, this right here with me and you, that's great and everything, but it gets even more professional in the workplace, right? So I've learned to do that, even though this is just how I talk normally. Yes, there are examples of code switching. Code switching does not only have to do with the way I speak, but also has to do with how I am emotionally, how I am physically in the workplace, and other professional spaces. It could be how I act in church settings. It could be how I act in the Grammys, the Oscars, if I have you know what I'm saying? Like, it has to do with all of those things. But what you said, you said something about how, us women, we have to do certain things to we have to code switch in order for them not to feel like, okay, we're the angry Black woman, or we're this, or we're that, right? And I feel like we don't talk enough about sometimes that perception is that because of what they see on TV, because of what they hear. Let us and for me, I'm just saying, I understand, like Andre was saying earlier, kind of respecting what people watch or what people listen to. Okay, do that. However, if I'm going to a workplace and they already have seen on the weekend that this is how Black people act when they get mad, this is what they do, they fight, they do this, they do that. Matter of fact, somebody was actually fired and not let into that building because of their perception of, well, hey, yeah, it's, they're gonna come up in here and fight and da 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 da. That's what they see. Matter of fact, we had a message on here that says, if we want them to stop saying the N-word, we need to stop saying it too. It's the same premise. So for me, I'm saying that there are certain things that we have to be able to hold each other accountable for. There are certain things I don't connect with as a Black person. I don't agree with the fact that everything is cultural appropriation. I just don't. I feel like if it's out there, if they're doing a dance, or if it's out there, if a hairstyle's out there, now mind you, it depends. For me, I'm saying for me, it depends on how that is used. It depends on how that credit is given or taken. Matter of fact, they were just talking about boxer braids, them little 2 cornrow boxer braids. Yes, we know that they're cornrows, right? They started being called boxer braids not because of the Kardashian, but because of boxers who were actually using that in the ring. Them boxers said it was boxer braids, but it was like, well, this is actually cornrows. I'm sorry, they weren't cornrows. They were actually French braids. There was a difference. Right. So they talked about all these things, and I get the fact that we have to talk about credit. We have to talk about all these things, but for me, I'm saying, I don't think it's anything where I have to be mad if a white person rolls up with cornrows. I don't care. The hairstyle's out there.
We didn't say for you to get mad, and I think
no, but I'm not saying for me. There's a lot of women who do. There's a lot of people who do. That's what I'm saying. And there's a lot of people who do get mad that even like if a TikTok person or whatever, they go on and do a dance. For me, doing it is different than credit. If the credit is not being given to that person, I'm there with you. But I don't, because there was a lot of people in this comment section who was saying, yeah, I do get mad if somebody does a dance that is not theirs. There's no advisory on there that says this dance, this song, this show, this word is just for Black people.
Okay. So this is where I'm going to go before y'all get into it again, because we only got an hour. No. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying. I'm not saying y'all getting into it. You're getting into the conversation. We still got 2 other topics. I will say this.
This was an hour. I
will say this because now y'all probably won't even be able to hear me. Can y'all hear me?
Not on. Yeah, put it back in.
So basically, this is a passionate one tonight. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Boom, you got me. People do get passionate about white people doing Black. The thing about it is, it doesn't look natural. It looks copied, like everything else. So people can be offended, even white people can be offended. Like you said, coach switching. When I would go to work, what I'm saying? Like, you see how I'm talking right now? How y'all doing today, man? Hey, man, I'm about to go over here. We're about to go in here. We're going to hang this duck up over here, my man. And we're going to get it done, bro. All right, bro? All right, man. All right. See, that was me working every goddamn day, man. You know what I'm saying? I'll go really Southern on them to make them feel comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Because if I talk like this, that's too strong. It's too masculine. It's too aggressive, and they can't handle it. But I got to handle them every goddamn day. And that's the thing you're not seeing. And that's sometimes when I say I get passionate, or when I was in a relationship, and I'm like, you don't understand what I'm going through emotionally, physically every day. I'm not saying you're not going through it, but I'm dealing with this physically, not emotionally, physically, emotionally. And I could easily get fired for nothing. Therefore, it's hurting my pride. I can't take care of my family. And you're wondering why I'm pissed off inside, or I can't do this, or I might need a hug, or I might need this as a Black man, because I'm losing and I'm trying. If you're a Black man trying. And that's the part some people don't see. That's the part when we talk about, are there good men out there? They are. They're working. And then women say, oh, I don't want to deal with a man. I seen it today. If he's broke, that's cool, because you're broke in a different way. All right, because I heard a woman say it was like it was, and I wanted to post it. She was like, "You go," and we talked about this, going for the financial solution when that dude ain't shit, and you knew he wasn't shit when you got there. But the guy that's trying and pulling and can do stuff, can fix your tire, can change your oil, can do everything else, can build a house. You don't want him because he can't get you a Gucci bag, but he can damn near sew your heart up, handle all your baggage, and then also carry you up a hill and your kids. I'm sorry. What's the next topic?
Well, no, that's exactly what I was gonna say too, because sometimes the if you're looking at that, then it depends on the type of, honestly, it goes back to what I was saying about the Black women who was raised in certain generations and kind of hearing those messages, is that, and again, for this, I'm saying Black women and women in general. And women in general, if they are taught these things, or if they see these things and they don't think it meshes well with their lifestyle or whatever, those are the type of women that are not going to have men lead the household. Like you actually mentioned on here, like the head of household, what does that mean? I think it means a lot of different things to a lot of different people, because again, sometimes women are getting these not clear or different messages from generation to generation, and are kind of letting that, water down their aspect or their definition of what it means to be the head of house. What does that mean for y'all?
I want to take this one because this is my topic. All right. So before we get into that, there was a part, once again, on the radio. I'm always listening to radio, always looking for content. And they were just talking about how sometimes being a man, from a man's point of view, some men in this time frame, or even my own time frame, do not have the leadership skills, do not have the knowledge of learning how to be the head of a household. And then it was also talking about how do you transition? Let's say, Faye, you got children? You have children, Faye?
Yes.
Okay. So with that, how can I transition from being boyfriend to head of household? How does that transition go? What communication needs to be taken? It doesn't happen instantly. It doesn't happen overnight. It just can't. But if the man is doing manly things, in my opinion, because I've also dated women with children. Me and Faye talked about this off air earlier. I've dated women with children. And the thing about it is it's a process. But that process is being consistent, doing the things that a man does, trying to be aware. And these are things that you have to practice. This just doesn't come naturally, or you have to want to make your woman or yourself better for your relationship so you can take the role as the provider. Can you, if she, because the thing is, this is another part. If she makes more money than you, does that make her better than you? No, it doesn't. Not in here. Not if you're a real man. You're just happy to support her that she met her goals. And that's a whole different topic. Cool, you can make 6 figures. I make 70. But you know what? You want to take that trash out? Do you want to kill that spider in that corner? Do you want to do this? Do you want to mow that lawn? Do you want to change that tire? No. And you'll be surprised, man, how much that is way more sometimes than 6 figures, because you're showing that you care through your actions and your consistency and your protection. That's protection. All right. And that's another word that we don't use all the time. I'm gonna let y'all jump into that. And that's how I would start being the man of the house of my household.
Conversation.
It does.
So when you're coming into a family dynamic that's already established, okay?
Right.
Regardless if you're the man or the woman, you got to talk to your partner first. And then after you talk to your partner first and you have an understanding, if there's children involved, you have to talk to the children. I think sometimes when the other person comes in, they automatically assume a position and come in and trying to change everything, instead of like when you're on a new position, you come in and you watch for 30 days. You sit down and you talk to everybody that you're coming to supervise. You learn ideas, you learn their ways, and then you slowly but surely implement your changes in your process. And it's an ongoing cycle, because this is something new that we're blending together, right? And also, I think that it's hard. Dre and I were talking, and I used it before, me and my ex. When he came into my blended family, he had kids, I had kids, and it was just me and my son. And he said something so real to me. He was like, if you want me to be dad, then you got to let me be dad all the way around. I'm like, what you talking about? And he was like, every time I discipline him, here you come running. So I told Dre the transition, I was like, whatever, I don't do that, whatever, I'll stop you. He was like, yeah, I'm a man, I discipline him different. You trust me to be the head of the family, you trusted me to come into the home, you trusted me to be with him alone, but then when it's time to discipline him, you come running and save him. So I told Dre, so the first, he did it after I became aware of what was going on, and I had to leave. I had to go sit out on the balcony because I did exactly what I was laying in the bed. He spanked my baby, and I jumped up. Girl, I jumped up. It was like, I'm gonna go in there and go hard. Like, I know you're not. And I jumped up, and I had to take a deep breath. I started pacing the floor. It was not working. So I had to go outside, get on the balcony, and close the door until the spanking was over. And it was a regular spanking. It was justified. It was not abuse. It was needed. But that was that transition that he needed to make me aware of because I wasn't aware of it. It was a blind spot. And then when I caught it, I was doing exactly what he said I was doing. I had to go sit outside. I had to breathe. I was outside like shaking, like, Lord, please.
You know what?
I was thinking he was in there killing my child. I come back, get my child is fine. They sit
Okay.
there, whatever.
They
but
chilling.
I had to be aware of myself. But there was a conversation that had to be had because it was like, hey, if you're gonna be dad, if we break up, you still daddy.
But see the thing is,
place and that responsibility is not contingent on the relationship.
You are, and Faye, I applaud you. I do, because number one, first of all, to me, you are oh my God, I love talking to you because you're so just on it. You're on it. You're blunt. You're forward. All of that. And my whole thing is women like you and I, if we have our own opinions or thoughts about things, right? A lot of men would be like, oh, well, y'all the type of women that's not going to listen to a man, blah, 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 blah. Well, you said it yourself. You said you had to kind of do some work, had to be like, okay, what's happening, right? And so you have to go back and say, all right, I did communicate with this man that is the agreement, and so I gotta fall back and let him handle that. A lot of women don't do that, and I think that's what a lot of men are finding out, that they don't allow the man to lead in certain ways. That does kind of create that problem, because what if you went back in there and was like, no, I don't like the fact that you discipline my child. Don't put hands on my child no more. Don't you talk to my child when it comes to discipline, blah, blah, blah. Then that kind of takes away from how he may feel as the man of the house.
And that also takes away his power. It takes like it's demasculating, because you know what? Oh, mama's got you. You know what I'm saying? It's a thing. You dig what I'm saying?
Take time though. You have to realize when somebody's been doing something for a while, I'm gonna make a mistake. Like Dre said, I don't want to take out the trash, but I might take out the trash on accident. I might be on autopilot. You know what I'm saying? So you might have to remind me a couple times for me to unlearn the behavior that I already have. So sometimes it's gonna take a while. Some things are just that easy, and that was fresh on my mind because we just had that conversation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then sometimes it's like I love books. He bought me a bookshelf. And it was laying on the floor, and I wanted it put together. He's like, I'll put it together. So he went out one night with the boys, and guess what I did? I put my bookshelf together, and I was like, look at my bookshelf. It's pretty. It's nice. And da-da-da. And he was like, didn't I tell you I was gonna put it together?
But you're taking too long. But but you know what though? Honestly, what I will say, and to your point and to Dre's point, the thing about that is the fact that when it comes to being the head of household, when it comes to leading the house, you also too had an element of trust in there, where that man has shown you can trust him. And that doesn't necessarily go just for your child. That goes for, I could trust him in communication. I can trust him making decisions with me. I can trust him making decisions for me. I can trust him with these things. And a lot of men, I'm not saying don't show that trust, but a lot of women don't allow, I don't know. I'm not going to get into all that, but I think sometimes there are women who don't allow that to be a thing for them. Like, let your man show you whether or not he can lead.
But can I ask you this though? Where does that come from? We were taught that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, generation to generation, they were taught that.
You might get mad at me, but we were taught that from the men in our family. And let me tell you why you were taught that from a man in your family. I'm gonna teach you how to do this so you can take care of yourself, because you ain't never gotta have to depend on no man. Your man ain't gonna never do that. I'm your dad. I'm your uncle.
First of all,
You don't need them.
First of all,
So that's
no. You think
Come on, Faye. Come on, Faye.
wash cars. We know
First
how
of
to
all,
we can do all of that. Some of that we had to unlearn because, and I learned from her in her marriage where in some areas she was better in some of the what we would call masculine areas, and he wasn't. And they had to do like a task to talent thing. He cooks and she's good with money. And when I say she's good with money, y'all, she never had bad credit or nothing. You know what I'm saying? So it makes sense that he cooked dinner and she, got the finances in order. You know what I'm saying?
So
but that makes sense, but that's not the way we were taught things were supposed to be.
So let me jump in,
I
Faye.
was taught that.
Let me jump in, Faye. So unfortunately, you haven't seen our show. All right, at full front. First of all, I've said this months ago. It's the man's fault. All right, it is. It is the men's fault. Because you hear it, you be like, my daddy taught me how to do this. He taught me how to put on a tire. I mean, cool. I'm impressed by that. I am. That is a very you have a great dad. All right. But dads are the ones. They're the ones that fucked up or the ones that did this. And then they get to a certain age and then they know because men ain't shit because you wasn't shit. Or people that ain't shit. And then you want to protect your little girl from ain't shit niggas.
Right.
From yourself. So I get it. I agree 100%. Men did it. I can't even blame women for this. Women are a repercussion of the men, then therefore caused by said men. I hope that makes sense. All right. Because of the man, the women feel this and they teach it that. But it's because of the man. Now, if we did more protecting, like I said, more nurturing, more understanding, if we wasn't so greedy, if we wasn't so aggressive or what we call, this lion-esque or whatever, where we thought we had to go and just take everything. You don't have to take everything because you gotta clean. It says in the Bible, a woman will make something a home. She will take, what it is, Mona. I can't hit it worse.
I was actually gonna have you tag me in. I was gonna have you tag me in because I want to.
You know what I'm saying? Go on ahead. I'm gonna bow out.
I'm gonna dive on in. Okay, so the thing with what you were saying about that and how we were taught in my household, I was taught that the man is the leader of the head of the home. That does not mean that a woman cannot lead or that a woman doesn't have a say. But I think a lot of times you talked about this about, with submission. But for me, I was taught that the head of home is the man. And in order to have that head of home be that man has got to show you certain things. He's got to know how to lead spiritually. Emotionally, has to be able to do all those things, right? Yes, I see somebody wrote the Proverbs 31 woman. I get that. However, a lot of women claim to be that. And I appreciate you putting that. A lot of women claim to be that. But a part of that is allowing that man to, I think Kyle had mentioned it in there, learn, grow, do what they need to do as the head of household. Show her that, right? So for me, I was taught that I need to be able to have the husband who is the head of household. But before I can make him that head of household, he has to show me certain things. He has to not be out doing certain things. I have to be able to look and see.
And hold on, because we had this conversation, and what men are really talking about, we're over our threshold. So I'm gonna give you 10 more minutes. But we're over this threshold where you're like, hold on, wait a minute. Why I gotta show X, Y, and Z?
Because that's what no. But that's because
I didn't finish. Because I understand. Because I'm supposed to be the head. But at the same time, if we are a partnership, then my partner also needs to show me some things too as well. It's just not.
That's fine. I'm just saying.
But that's the problem. No, but that is the problem that we are having today. Not with all, but with some. If that was the case, we wouldn't have Cam Newton and all these men now coming on platforms, waiting for it, because only women have had these platforms to talk shit about men and what we're not doing. Now men are coming out and saying, you know what? You a bad bitch. That's cool. You got got your own job. Guess what? I ain't impressed by none of that shit. I don't care how many degrees you got. I don't care how smart you are. Is your house clean? Are you good with your family? Are you this, that, and the other? I don't care about none of that shit because men don't care about your degrees. They don't care about how smart you are. They care about the character. Can you fuck? Can you cook? And then you got some good morals. It's just we're basic. Men are very basic.
Yeah, but
women
listen,
don't think that way.
it's all about how you treat people. Does that make sense?
Exactly.
At the end of the day, it's how you treat people. Like one of my friends, she texted me. She said that, the man's the head and the woman's the neck. We're here to support and help. So that makes us a team. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we're missing on the team, and we're lacking the conversations and speaking amongst each other about what is needed. It's about when we come together, how do we support each other? We keep bringing up finance, and I wish we could just throw that out of the way. So say if I see that Dre can make the most money, right? And I fall back. I can have all of my degrees, but I see Dre has the potential to make more money, then I'm going to stay back. You know what I'm saying? But then also
stay back in what aspect?
The woman makes the most money and the man supports her. That's just called partnership. It's not about who makes the most dollar. It's about who at the time have the resources and the skills and the potential to reach there and with that support. Because if Dre and I are married, you and Dre are married, he can't get there without you. Either you're going to support him or you're going to drag him down.
But
so whoever is in the lead, it's based on your skills. And when you guys come together to understand that you're a team and that it's not a competition.
And it has more to do. And somebody said Cam Newton is displaying misplaced anger. I really don't think so. I mean, I'm saying I disagree with that because I agree with everything Cam said. I agree. I am one of those women that agree because women in our generation are not allowing men to be men and actually lead the home or do whatever. They are often like, oh, I'm just a bad bitch and I just want to be a trophy wife. Like, what do you bring? Like they're not patient. They're not doing the things.
Okay, so I'm gonna do this because I really have to go. So like when he said, and this is the one thing as a man that I try to do, and this is for all the male viewers that will see this past, present, and future. It's one word. It's called follow through. Follow through. Hey, and this is what I've noticed about women. Women are really good about time. All right? If you say, hey, I'm going to do this on March the 12th at 9 p.m., they expect that. They expect it, and you know what? They should expect it because that came out of your mouth. You made a verbal agreement, a promise to say that you were going to do something. So if you do not, you have failed. Now, they can understand, they can be disappointed, and that sometimes is worse as being mad. So for me, if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to be there in 10 minutes, I had to learn that the hard way. But I learned it. So if I say I'm going to be something, I'm going to make sure I make a call if I'm late because that's all they want. Men, that's all they want. Just communicate. Just be clear. Just be open. All right? And don't be an hour late. Don't say you're there in 5 minutes and you're going to be there 30. You're going to mess up the whole evening. All right? Unless your dick game's away.
So listen, next week, guys, we're going to continue this conversation. We're going to talk about a lot of this as well as some more blackity black type things. I want to know next week, are you freaky or are you nasty? Y'all need to let us know. We going to post that.
I'm sorry we didn't get into it.
We going to post that in the Facebook page too. Are you freaky? Are you nasty? Is there a difference or is it the same? We're going to post that in the Facebook post. The Facebook group. Oh, he licking his fingers. He freaky. So we're gonna post that.
I can do whatever I want after 4. I don't give a fuck.
We freaky and nasty. So I want to talk more about that next week. Y'all meet us back here at 9 Eastern, 8 Central, because y'all want to be on some other times or whatever. Oh, we got one comment already. Nasty. Okay. Real quick.
Can I say this and leave them
yes.
with this?
Yep.
Everybody thinks they a freak until they meet a freak.
Tell me about it.
Everybody thinks they're a freak until they meet a freak.
Not my booty.
I'm not going to play with him. Just think about that. And I'm coming from a sexual education part, so I'm not going to be here freaky and nasty, and I'm not doing any of that. I'm coming from a healthy standpoint, and we're going to be grown because people are adults. We're going to act like this stuff is happening because it's happened, and we're not going to get here and get all goody two shoe or whatever. I know we have family, we have church members and all that. We're gonna be respectful, but that's the truth.
Faye, I
My
can't.
kids too.
I can't wait till next week when you. I can't go.
I'm letting it all hang out.
Go.
I didn't wear no shirt.
Listen,
Take
Faye,
it out.
I take it all, but I can't wait till next week because I can't wait to talk about that with you. Maybe I'll go. Wait, maybe I'll go topless too. You see, I got my blow pop shirt on. Maybe I'll go top. Okay.
Wait, hold on. Wait a minute. What are we doing?
Okay.
I'm
Sorry.
not ready for summertime fine. I'm gonna just
Sorry. I was
wear a
just.
low top shirt. I'll go low in the shirt. I'm not.
Okay.
Y'all going too far.
Okay, we'll just do low cut. Okay, cool. All right. I'll see y'all next week, y'all. Get that tip in next week. 9 o'clock.
All right.
Bye, y'all.